You're with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Let's walk the talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7 and 106 FM.
Minutes after 9 o'clock, Dumelang. Welcome to the Thursday edition of the Clement Manyathela Show. Good morning, bonjour, absheni. Happy Thursday. I hope you're good this morning. Thank you for joining us once again here on 702. If it's your first time with us, well, welcome to the family. Our show starts with the 702 open line this hour. So you can call on 011-883-0702. If you want to weigh in on any issue or what we're discussing on the open line this morning, the WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702. Hello, if you are watching us on YouTube as well, you can go to the 702 YouTube page if you want to watch and listen to the show at the same time. Elon Musk and President Donald Trump have smoked the peace pipe. How are you feeling about that? And I'll tell you why I ask you that. Because ordinarily, you would want everybody to be happy with that, right? Because this is the world's richest man, and this is the world's most powerful man in President Donald Trump. We don't want them to be fighting because it's going to get ugly, and at some point, especially us, the global south, us as developing countries, we may catch some strays. So it's a different thing when the most powerful leader in the world and the richest men are fighting, because the consequences will be felt on the ground. That fight or feud is not going to affect them. And I have seen that there are some people who have expressed disappointment at the fact that they've kissed and made up. And I'm also going to be honest with you. I was like, no, not so quick. Because I thought there's still more that's still going to come. I mean, he was making, Elon Musk, that is all sorts of allegations against President Donald Trump. He's in the Epstein files. He supported calls for his impeachment. He was criticizing that bill that Donald Trump wants to see through Congress. Donald Trump has also made all sorts of allegations against him. And I'm honest with you, really, I was a bit disappointed to see that so quick they've kissed and made up. I was hoping that there's more that's going to come out that's somehow going to help us understand what the vision and what the intention of this administration is. I would like to hear your thoughts on 011-883-0702. There were a lot of people who even thanked Nelson Mandela. They said, when the feud was going on, and said, don't come after South Africa because our ancestors don't play. Hey? So how do you feel about that? Elon Musk has expressed regret. You may have seen that over the last couple of days about the posts that he made against Trump. He said they went too far. And the CNN was actually reporting yesterday that they were on a phone call together. So before Elon Musk even tweeted that, he actually called Donald Trump and they sorted things out. What do you think is at play here? And I see some people are like, yeah, we told you guys that this is just a show. It's not really true. I don't think this was just a show because there's a lot at play. I mean, Elon Musk lost millions of dollars just in the couple of hours or on the day that he had this feud with Donald Trump. So it's a different thing when you are the richest man in the world and you're fighting with the president of the US. you are going to lose money. Tesla shares tanked so bad. So I don't think this was just fake. Let me know your thoughts on that. Another thing I'm interested in your thoughts on this morning is the issue of accountability in Parliament. Bongani was playing some clips this morning of members of Parliament who are asking some tough questions to some members of the executives or other stakeholders that are accountable to Parliament. And I must say, I just feel like something has shifted since the GNU. Members of the executives or other stakeholders accountable to Parliament are truly being held accountable. And yes, sometimes for some MPs and parties in Parliament, they're just grandstanding. Some are competing very hard because they want a trend, but it works for us, right? They must compete there. That's why even with the ministers in the GNU, when they are competing for efficiency and for doing well, it's good because it works for us. And I think we have had this kind of fierce, tough questioning before in the last administration. I mean, people like Glenys Breitenberg, as I said this earlier, they've always made sure to hold the executive accountable. Floyd Shivambu from the EFF at the time, they were really asking tough questions. Yeah, but something has really shifted, and I don't know if you're seeing it the same way. I'll play you some more of those clips so you get a sense of what I'm talking about.
Clement Manyathela, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856
92.7
and 106 FM.
Hello, Clement and 702 lenders. On the matter of Trump and Elon, this is a one-sided matter. Elon Musk apologized and said he went too far last week. As far as I know, Trump is not interested in mending their relationship. Just as the media yesterday asked Elon's father that is it possible that Trump and Elon's relationship could get back to normal, and his father replied by saying, yes, it's possible. If they had mended things up already, I don't think they would have asked him that question. So it's really one-sided. And besides, the verdict is out there. Elon already hit Trump with a slap. So we already felt the slap. Can't take that back. Sure.
Clemmy, good morning man. Yes, sas. Môre is Floris hier so van die Weskaap. Clemmy, it's ironic that you would say that these two powerful people smoked the peace pipe. So who was passing the dodgy to the left-hand side? And why I'm saying it's so ironic, there was claims that that Musk is using drugs by the very Donald Trump. But in any event, I'm not sure if this was just a stage fight just to shake up the markets a bit. Have a good job, bye-bye.
Morning, Clement. There was mismanagement between the head state of America and the billionaire Elon Musk. So I'm glad they sorted things out. I'm glad they did sort it out because it was not good at all.
Yeah, this is so wild, eh? Like, I do think that, I mean, my suspicion is that there was a lot of pressure from investors coming towards Elon Musk because there was a lot at stake. I mean, Trump at some point was talking about cancelling all government contracts with some of Elon Musk's companies. And I don't know. I suspect that maybe some investors, some boards of the companies this man controls and owns were probably putting pressure on him to say, sort this ish out, because this is going to affect our bottom line. And if not, then his position was probably gonna be at risk. I suspect there was pressure coming from the company. I mean, the Tesla stocks really tanked. The shares they tanked so bad during the feud, and the consequences were going to be more and more severe. So maybe there's pressure coming from Elon Musk. But I mean, when you look at the personality of Musk, the personality of Trump, what are the chances that this is it? I suspect that we may be sitting with another fight to come in the next couple of, weeks, months, or even years. Who knows? This is America. It's a wild, wild West, my friends.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
So this issue of accountability in Parliament, just take a listen to some of what has transpired in Parliament so far. Obviously, there are many cases that have happened, clips that have gone viral, members of the executives that have been held accountable. But just for you to get a sense of what I'm trying to say this morning. Here's Karabo Khakao, who is a member of Parliament, and she was there at the portfolio committee of higher education and training, and there were questions being asked there. This was an interaction between Karabo Khakao and one of the deputy CEOs or representatives of a TVET college. But look, what I want you to focus on here is on the questions being asked and the responses that we're getting.
How much money have you fundraised towards internet connectivity within the labs?
Connectivity. Unless we can put the analysis up so that I can then talk.
What do you mean analysis? I feel you should know. Do you have any partnership that in your job in the last 2 weeks that you have formed with any private sector or any company to ensure that there's connectivity on campus to improve internet access? Yes or no?
No.
You haven't. So have you done any sort engagements with computers for computer accesses?
Yes.
Okay, how many computers were you able to get in the last 2 years?
Into the institution.
I mean, surely not in your house, Mama.
No, I haven't.
You haven't?
Yeah.
How many?
Sure, yeah, that's Sharon Motoboli Ingwe, who's a TVET College's deputy principal for partners and innovation, right? That's Sharon is the lady that Karabo was asking questions to. But honestly, when I saw this clip, the first thing I thought of was, one, I was like, good, these are tough questions. But a part of me also felt I cringed a bit because I thought, she's really an old woman and you can tell that she's just baffled. And it was so cringeworthy. And I would understand why some people may see that as a bit of disrespect. But, this is Parliament. This is not your lounge with your grandkids who must call you Gogo, Goko, or Grandma, Granddad. This is Parliament and people are there to do their work. And yes, I do think that there must be decorum, there must be respect for each other. You can still be firm and still be respectful towards people. But we are seeing a lot of MPs really ask some really tough questions. This is Sihle Lonzi, who is a member of Parliament for the Economic Freedom Fighters. He's been doing the Lord's work there in Parliament as well.
What makes in your own view, Minister, what makes a person credible? When you say this one, Tebogo Chair, is credible or is not credible, what makes him credible in your own view? Minister?
What makes a person credible, Chair, is exactly how it is defined when you Google. By encyclopedia, you'll see what it means. It's exactly that.
You are not going to answer us. You are not going to answer us, Minister.
I've responded, Chairperson.
So that's the chairperson there of the portfolio committee. I'll play you of the clip of Sihle Lonzi as well. But that's just what's been happening. There's not really accountability there. The clip I wanted was of Sihle Lonzi. I'll get it for you guys. But you listen to what the Minister of Higher Education, how she's responding to that. No interest whatsoever. And do you think there's going to be accountability? The president, yes, has come out to say she must explain herself. But that's how low the bar is, even on this concept of accountability. People really, and for the longest time in Parliament, there are members of the executives who used to be given softball questions. They knew that we can come there, say whatever you say. You're not going to be really asked some tough questions. But things have changed now. If you go to parliament and you're not ready, you don't know your story, you're going to be left embarrassed. And they don't want that. And that is good for accountability. And that is good for you and I. Here's another clip, just as an example of accountability in parliament.
The copy of the letter was issued after we've had the resolution. That letter was also given him. It was forwarded to him so that he could sign. So that letter was available.
I'm saying, did you have a signed copy that Donald Slamlela is suspended?
I can't sign it. It must be signed by him.
Who says you must sign the letter? Do you listen to what I'm asking? I'm asking you. Did you have the copy signed by the delegated authority in this regard?
Okay. No,
can you not disrupt when I ask, ma'am? Can you switch that mic? Can you learn to be respectful, please? I'm asking you. You are sitting in a committee of parliament, in a meeting that is viewed by the people of South Africa. You tell the people of South Africa that you, as the deputy chair of the board, acting obviously on behalf of the chair, and your board, you are communicating to us that you have suspended the CIO. When you do not have a proof that that decision has been effected, what is your take on that?
It gets worse.
So that's the clip that was played also on Bongani's show this morning, just demonstrating this tough questioning from members of parliament and just the lack of responses sometimes, even to the most simplest, basic of questions from these stakeholders or members of the executives that are accountable to parliament. What do you think? Are you happy? Do you think that we have seen an increase in accountability in parliament? And do you sometimes find yourself, being on two sides here, where on the one hand you're happy that MPs are holding these executives accountable, but on the other hand you think sometimes they take it too far and they get too disrespectful? Because I do think that these are politicians. They will grandstand sometimes. They do want to be seen, to be, doing the work, and some of them actually want to embarrass the members of the executives. I do think that sometimes there are some who do that because they're competing for attention. But that works for you and I. And I hope they can still be respectful in their engagement but still be firm. So let me know what your thoughts are on this issue of accountability. Have you seen a shift? What do you think lies behind that? We've got to keep it going because for the last 30 years, many of the members of the executives were protected even in parliament, an institution that is mandated constitutionally to hold them accountable. It's 27 after 9.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
On 702.
19 minutes before 10 o'clock. This is the 702 open line. Your calls on 011-883-0702. How do you navigate the working environment when you are younger and sometimes your subordinates are older than you, or in cases where you are younger and you disagree with some of your colleagues that may be much older? Because there are people, and I'm raising that because I see, some of the messages coming through around Karabo. There's disagreements around how some of these younger MPs are asking questions to the more older members of the executives. Remember, was it Baleka Mbete, the former Speaker of Parliament? She once admonished, was it Julius Malema, I think, a few years ago, and said, "Angsi intanga yako. I'm not your equal. We're not of the same age. Respect me." And Julius Malema said, "Well, I'm not here to be respecting anyone. I'm here to actually do my job. You are not coming here as my auntie or as my gogo or as my elder. You're coming here as my colleague." And I wonder how you navigate that in your space of work. Do you have people who report to you, for instance, that you must now discipline, and they are older than you? Like, what do you do? Like, do you go and say, "Hey, Papa, Mama, or Uncle Clement, we have to talk. You haven't done this. Therefore, this is how we're going to hold you accountable." It really gets tricky, especially if you're raised to respect your elders and it's something that you have held close to you for a very long time. So let me know how you navigate that, because that's what the younger MPs, and we're seeing more and more younger MPs these days in Parliament, that's what they sometimes have to navigate. But that they can't let their obsession with wanting to respect somehow compromise on the work they're supposed to do to hold these people accountable. Hey, here's Sihle Lonzi. I promised you one of the clips, and I said, yeah, he's one of the members of Parliament who are young, who have really been doing well in holding the executive accountable.
See my hand. I just one quick follow up from Karabo, because clearly the minister is refusing to give
it's
us.
Honorable Khachao.
Yeah. Honorable Khachao, sorry. Yeah. Clearly the minister is refusing to give us the names of the people in the advisory panel. So I've just got one question for the department now that is here. The chair of the NSA, the DG, DDG, the advisor to the minister, the coordinator of sitters, the PLO, the entire department. Is there anyone in the department who knows the composition of the advisory panel of the minister? None of you know it. All right, no, thank you, Chair.
And there was a time when he was even kicked out of the portfolio committee because he was really asking some tough questions there. Let's go back to your WhatsApp voice notes on 072 702 1702.
This is Tsepo here. With regards to the manner in which questions are being asked in Parliament, what I want to say is simple. You can be firm, hold people accountable without being disrespectful. You look at how lawyers ask questions in court, and most of the times, if the presiding officer, that is the magistrate or the judge, feels that, look, you've just crossed the boundaries, they put you back in line in terms of how you ask your questions. You know, people should be asked questions, but in a more respectful manner. Thank you.
Hi, Clement. I agree. Respect is always, number one humility skill that we all need when we do and engage with each other in the workplace. However, my motto in life is that at work there is no age. We are all colleagues, we are all equal, and we should be held accountable like you will hold a 20-year-old versus a 60-year-old. And when you are in the public eye, in charge of the public purse and responsible for departments that can shape the kids' future and the next generation, you have to account. And sometimes tough question is to be asked, and it's not disrespect. It is really asking for accountability. And yeah, my only worry is that we're asking the questions, but what is the final decision? Do these people lose their jobs if they haven't done what they need to? Is there a disciplinary hearing, an action plan afterwards?
Hi, Clement. With regards to this accountability in Parliament, it's actually embarrassing that adults have got to be called out by young people. Honestly, can't these people, what legacy do they want to leave for their kids and their grandkids? Can't are they destroying this country and running it down to the ruins? No, man, we shouldn't be doing this. And this is disrespecting abantwana. If we continue doing this, we have to be called out having done the wrongs with what's right to be done.
Good morning, Clement and the listeners. The issue about having older colleagues, colleagues that you more or less share the duties with, it's sometimes a little bit difficult because in an African culture, you can't be calling an elder into order, even though you know that they are supposed to be held liable for whatever actions that they did. But it's sometimes a little bit difficult to work around that issue. Thanks.
Yeah, I can only imagine. And as someone who's also young, I relate with that, especially with the kind of work that I do. Because I'm probably the youngest here. Abel, am I the youngest? Yeah, I'm the youngest host on the station. So I get this a lot with the people that I interview. I don't know how many times I've been called after I've done interviews with politicians. And I mean, there was a time when a certain minister, I interviewed her on my show on the SABC, and it was quite a hectic interview because she didn't want to respond to certain questions, but I was pushing. And I remember I got a call from one of her family members. And this chap was asking me to send a voice note apologizing to this minister for how I disrespected her on the show. And of course, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to do that. But this guy was saying, dude, this thing, we spoke about it in the family. Everybody, like the minister, really just feels like you were disrespectful. I was like, where did I become? Show me. And I will apologize for where I was disrespectful. Show me where I was disrespectful. Me pushing for someone to answer a question they should be answering doesn't mean that I'm disrespectful. I mean, we may disagree there, right? But it doesn't mean I'm disrespectful because I'm saying, no, minister, you have to answer this because you should know this. But because she was left embarrassed, she feels that was my intention to do that. So there are many times when after interviews I've done, especially because I'm young, and I wonder if the older journalists actually get these calls where then we are asked, we must come and apologize, humble ourselves before some ministers. That's not how it works. And I pick it up a lot. Even like my mom sometimes admonishes me. Sometimes my mom calls and says, why did you ask those people those questions? That's disrespectful. I'm like, no, that's my job. It's not disrespect. But because that's how we were raised, that umuntu omdala, awumbuzi, like someone older than you don't question them like that. Well, when you are at work, my friends, there's no old, there's no young. As long as we're still respectful in our engagements, but we have to be firm. You can still be firm, but still respect the next person. How do you manage that in your workplace? It's 10 minutes before 10.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
On 702.
7 minutes before 10 o'clock. Now you're in 4 ways. Hi.
Good morning, Tenisi. I believe that you've got to, as you said already, you need to hold somebody accountable respectfully without demeaning them, and I keep on saying that immediately if we go to the office, start working, we all get paid at the end of the month. So much as like you are younger than me, I'm older than you, I need to respect you for you to respect me. At the same time as well, if you had to, get the work done, you have to, by all means, it can't be necessarily be that like the fact that I'm older than you, it stops you from doing your work. No, that's not the way we're supposed to work. You're supposed to like call the person accountable. You can't tell me in an African culture, you can't call an elderly person and somebody older than you, call that person to order. No, that's not the way it's supposed to be. And again as well, for me, if we all like, let's say for instance, we go to varsity. You are in first year, you are in like maybe perhaps like doing your first year there. All of a sudden we're becoming colleagues, so to say. We are in the same age group. We're no longer like where we used to be in primary school and high school. So we're more or less like experiencing life almost the same way, so to say, in different ways. So we need to like take into account. We can't say that the fact that like I finished varsity 4 years later after you, meaning that I don't know what I'm doing. No, it can't be. We need to understand that like we all have the same background. We've grown up. This has shaped me differently than you, and I might see things more, like better than you, or even you better than me. Then we can advise each other. And hence, I keep on saying that at work, that as an elderly person at work, I like to talk to the young people that are coming fresh from varsity. I learn a lot from them. They've gone through things that I haven't gone through.
Yeah.
And I become a better person by that. But
True.
I'm going to say to them, no, they're youngsters. I
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah. And then sometimes it's just being open enough now to learn from each other and knowing that your skills that you have that are so varied can complement each other. And that works for whatever work that you guys do together. Right? Let's go to some more WhatsApps.
Hi, Clement. I just wanted to say, this is Mam Khutipakeng. I am so proud of Sihle Lonzi, Karabo Kakao, and Sinao Tambo. Those are the leaders. Those are the people who were in leadership positions when I was VC at UCT. Damn, they are so good. There are others who are not in parliament, who are in these organizations, both the DA and the EFF, who are really, really good. But all three of them were in leadership position, either when I was appointed or when I was VC, and did they give me a hard time? But I promise you, I mean, the difference is that these are young people who read, who prepare for meetings, they read the documents, they have their hearts in the right place, they want things to change. And I think this is good for South Africa, to have young people in parliament who do this, not ones who just want to go in and collect a check. So I'm very proud of Sihle, Karabo, and Sinao. Excellent work. Thank you.
Absolutely, Prof. Thank you. I mean, they make my heart smile. Really, they do. And again, for the longest time, especially in the last administration, members of the executives were used to just being treated with kid gloves, except in just a few circumstances. As I said, Kulego Hlengwa, Glennis, Floyd, when he was in the EFF, and other EFF or other DA members of parliament and other parties, they did hold some of the members of the executive accountable, but largely they were treated with kid gloves. And that's now out of the window. We've got young people. The injection of young people in parliament has been really the best thing, really, to happen to this institution, because now we see it, right? The very purpose and intention of parliament to hold the executive accountable, we see it every day. They prepare so well. I think, kudos to them. We should actually one day do an across the desk with these young members of parliament. It's 2 minutes now before 10.